4 conversation mistakes that instantly turned women off. My name is Meessen, and I'm a professional dating and relationship coach, and the tips I'm about to share with you today have been proven with clients from 21 different countries. Ignoring these will lead to a bunch more flakes over the course of a couple of dates. Remember, it's not just about getting her interest initially and creating attraction, but it's also about keeping her interest, because I'm sure you've experienced women flaking on you after the second or third date. Things seem to be going well. From your perspective, you thought you actually had a great date, but she just wasn't keen on meeting you anymore. Well, chances are you made one of those 4 mistakes. So, number 1, statements versus questions. You're probably asking her way too many questions. A lot of men who have successful careers and businesses, they tend to treat dates a bit like a job interview. Not because they actually feel the authority to interview the woman, because that would mean that they'd be super confident, which a lot of them aren't, but it's when you run out of things to say that you get into a question mode. You start asking her, so where are you from? What's your job? How old are you? Do you come here often? Da 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 da. And thereby you're placing the burden of the conversation on her. You're placing the responsibility of keeping the conversation going on her. And you got to keep in mind, there's what the mainstream tells you what works, and then there's what actually works in terms of getting women attracted to you and communicating your personality authentically and effectively. And what does the mainstream tell you? The mainstream tells you, just be a good listener, be respectful, be kind, be a gentleman, and everything's going to be well. Just really listen to her. And while actually listening makes a lot of sense, if you think about what's actually happening, this piece of advice implies that we men are by default extraordinarily disrespectful and that we don't pay attention. As if most of us are sitting on a date not paying attention to her, as if we're not listening. No, we are listening. But you've tried listening. You've tried being kind. You've tried being respectful. You've tried being a gentleman, and none of that worked. Now, being respectful and being kind is absolutely the base for a relationship, but you have to speak more than you ask questions up until the hook point in the conversation has been reached. Once you get to a point where she starts talking about her hobbies, where she starts asking you a bunch of questions, up until that point, you have to overshare. And a really simple formula for that is 3 statements, 1 question. 3 statements, 1 question. I know it seems a bit robotic and rigid, but it's just a structure. Like, once you're advanced in your communication skills, you won't need that anymore. But don't be asking her questions the whole time. She's gonna feel interviewed, she's gonna feel bored because she's experienced that a million times. Chances are you're a successful business owner, you're a man with a successful career, maybe you work in tech, maybe you're a computer scientist, maybe you're an engineer, whatever it may be. You have a lot to offer. Start sharing it. Overshare things about your personality without being asked to. Share things that you hate. Share things that you love. Now, when I say share things that you hate, that does not mean that you're supposed to spread a whole bunch of negativity. No, remember, the first date has to be positive. You have to share a lot of positivity on the date. But saying, well, I hate this, I love this, I hate this in women, I love this in women, really, really works well. So start oversharing, start communicating your personality authentically and effectively. Number 2, you're giving her too many compliments. So most men either give her none at all or way too many. Oh, you're really cute. Wow, that was actually really smart. Wow, you're really interesting. Wow, blah, 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 blah. And what happens is over-validation kills attraction. A few compliments at the right point in time can really foster a man-to-woman connection. But giving her too many compliments just makes you come across as needy. And she immediately categorizes you in her own head as one of the many guys she's rejected before who has acted in such a quote-unquote beta kind of way where he complimented her all the time. So do give her compliments for her looks. Do give her compliments for ideally the content of her speech, but not too many. Number 3, you're afraid to lose her. When you're on the date with her, she senses that you're afraid to lose her, and this immediately kills attraction. Why? Well, if she senses that you're afraid to lose her, that you're acting needy, for example, there's a million different ways within which that can manifest, but for example, by giving her too many compliments, she automatically concludes, well, if he's acting needy, if he's afraid to lose me, he must not have that many options available. Because if he had a bunch of options to choose an amazing life partner from, then he wouldn't be so desperate to get me. And what woman on earth wants to be with a man who has no options available? You have a lot to offer. You worked on yourself real hard. And it's not about leading with money, telling her how much money you have, how successful you are. That's not what I mean. But you have a lot to offer in terms of the character, the man you built yourself into. Doesn't mean you're perfect, not at all. None of us are perfect, really far from it. But you do have a lot to offer. But if she senses that you don't have a lot of options, then it immediately kills attraction, because no woman wants to be with a man who doesn't have a lot of options. Because if you don't have a lot of options, she automatically trusts the judgment of her female friends, even if she doesn't know them yet. And that's why this whole idea of, they call it pre-selection, really works. If women see you, and this is not some pickup artist nonsense, but it is true that if women see you in the company of other women who react positively towards you, who are attracted to you, they can't help but feel intrigued and attracted to you. That doesn't mean they automatically trust you. That doesn't mean that there's compatibility for finding the right girlfriend or life partner, because this is the end goal, but it definitely helps. So you don't have to tell her, well, actually, I have a lot of dates. No, don't stop bragging. Actually, self-deprecation can be a much more powerful tool. But you have to avoid at all costs showing her that you need her so desperately. Because if that comes across in your body language, non-verbally as well as verbally, and there's a million different ways within which that can manifest, she immediately loses attraction. Now, before we get to point number 4, if you too want to learn how you can find the right girlfriend or life partner, like a bunch of my clients from 21 different countries have so far, then simply apply for a first free coaching call with the link underneath this video. During that first call, we'll create a step-by-step plan based on your individual situation. We're going to look at your mindset problems. We're going to look at the level of confidence you have or you're lacking. You'll learn how to get more options using online as well as offline methods. You will learn how to actually have a conversation in depth on the date that communicates who you authentically are. Not trying to lie, cheat, or pretend to be someone you're not, but actually authentically and effectively creating attraction connection. If you want to learn how you can find the right one so you don't have to spend another Christmas by yourself, then simply apply for a first free coaching call and we'll find out if and how I'm going to be able to help you as well. So, step number 4, asking her how many men she's had sex with. I know it sounds ridiculous and I feel weird for even having to bring this up, but I see it all the time in coaching calls every single week that guys feel the need to talk to women about how many men she's been with. Believe me, there's very few things that signal insecurity like you asking how many men she's had sex with. Now, once you're in a relationship, you've been dating, you've had sex for a couple of months, then you can feel free to ask that question, absolutely. But not at the beginning, because either she's going to lie to you or she's going to tell you an answer that you're not going to like. Now, there are some women who legitimately haven't been with that many men, which obviously is preferable, right? Don't lie to yourself. Right? I'm not saying that if a woman had sex with 50 different men that you can't be in a relationship with her, not at all. But wouldn't you prefer a woman to have only had sex with 5 or 10 men? Just in terms of preference, right? I think we all do. But she's not going to tell you that, at least not in the beginning. So don't ask that question, because remember, this date is about you and her. Other men have nothing to do in the conversation. This is about you, who you are, where you're going, the kind of person you want to have in your life. This is, you're the man. You're the center of the conversation, just like her. Ignore other men. This is not about other men. They don't matter. You have to be so convinced of your own value, of what you have to offer, of the life that you can offer, without bragging, without actually talking about it, but implicitly communicating that other men don't even factor into the equation. They don't matter. So, quick recap. 3 statements, 1 question. Second, give her compliments, but not too many. 3rd, let her know that you want her, but that you don't need her. 4, never ask her how many men she's been with. So again, if you want me to help you find the right girlfriend or life partner, like I've been able to do for clients from 21 different countries, apply for a first free coaching call, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you personally. I wish you a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you either over the next week or two or in the beginning of January. Take good care of yourself.